Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I am George. We're all George. So today, I think we just received the biggest endorsement from Janet Yellen, the U.S. Treasury Secretary, about hodling. Yes, why we should all hodl. They just presented a case, or another case, why hodling is the right way to go. So I'm going to explain why. And of course, let's talk about Bitcoin and altcoins, which are doing much better today than last night. I know a lot of you guys were like on the cliff last night, and I had to really talk you off of it. And today, things are looking much better. You can breathe a little bit easier, right? Like I always say, things get better after they seem like they can't get any worse. And yesterday was one of those days. So, of course, let's discuss. So, thanks for tuning in, guys. As always, smash a like, subscribe to the channel. 2 streams every day, 11:30 and 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. So make sure you hit that notification bell and follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. All right, let's do this. I will warn you guys, tonight I'm traveling. So tonight, tomorrow, the streams might be off. I might even skip a stream or two, but don't worry. But make sure you follow me on Twitter so you get updated on what's going on. All right, so let's change my screen here. By the way, this is the ROX terminal. And periodically I show it. I think it's a great terminal. Those of you guys that are used to TradingView, you get all the same nifty things, nifty indicators, but you get a lot more. And right now, Bitcoin is right around 39,700, which is much, much better than our 30,000 or 32,000 or 37,000 yesterday, right? Even though this says we're down 4%, we're actually really up a lot more than that. This is versus when Bitcoin was at 42 roughly yesterday morning. But of course, we know at night it slid down back up to about 36, 37. So if you're looking at from yesterday's lows to today, everything's up substantially, 20, 30. I mean, some of the altcoins are up like 30, 40, 50%. I mean, it's amazing how much things have recovered, but still nowhere near where we used to be like about a week or two ago. That's why I always say, don't take things for granted. When Bitcoin was stuck at 55,000, 60,000, people were complaining, why is it not moving? Well, now you realize you have it until you don't, right? So don't take things for granted. And I do want to talk about something important as we recover back up, right? I do want to talk about what transpired yesterday, how to better prepare for it, and so forth. Because for the first time, for many of you guys, you actually really panicked. You really panicked. That was the first time in a very long time I noticed that people actually truly panicked and truly sold off. And we got to talk about that. We got to talk about you guys stop doing that because it's not healthy, and you're not gonna live in the crypto world or investment world for a long time if you do that. But I'll get to that at the end of what I need to get done with you guys. So first of all, Bitcoin is doing better. It did hit 42 or 43 almost before it came down a little bit, but now it seems like it wants to recover. So the big headline news is, of course, this. U.S. Treasury, or Treasury Secretary, calls for stricter cryptocurrency compliance with the IRS. No one likes the IRS. No one likes to pay taxes, right? But the U.S. and all other countries, they want their cut. They want their cut. I've been saying this. This is why governments around the world will not ban Bitcoin, because they rather tax it. So they're trying their best to tax as much of it as possible. And we know every single country out there is in massive debt, and they all want a piece of cryptocurrency and Bitcoin. So this is not set in stone yet. This is what she's calling. You know, she's saying that we need to have stricter regulations. And what does this actually pertain to? Well, this pertains to transfers. So right now, every single sell that you have is a taxable event. Every single trade is a taxable event. Even if you pay for coffee with Bitcoin, it's a taxable event. So those things didn't change. Now, what this is calling for is transfers. So now, even if you transfer into, let's say, exchange from your hardware wallet and you transfer in, they need to know. They need to know where it's coming from, and that exchange has to report it if it's worth more than $10,000. And this also applies to exchange or any business. If you decide to pay for something with crypto, $10,000 to pay, then they have to report this to the IRS. This is actually exactly what Mnuchin was working on before. This is what he tried to slide in, and then it was paused, but now they're trying to bring up again. So according to them, it's because they feel like there's too many people that's evading tax or doing money laundering, or I don't know what else there is that they're watching for, right? But this is what they're calling for. So, I mean, if this does go through, I mean, obviously, this is a big endorsement for hodling, right? For those of you guys that do trade, I know a lot of you guys trade with massive amounts, 10,000 plus all the time. You're transferring between your wallet, between exchanges and so forth. Now, every time you do that, it needs to be reported. And you know, less reporting the better when it comes to the IRS, right? So this is something that I think encourages, and it's a big endorsement for hodling. But this is not set in stone yet. This is just a proposal. But after this was announced, you know, Bitcoin actually dipped a little bit from 42 down to 39, right? But I think right now we're in recovery mode, so we will get past this. This is not something that we really need to worry about. Even if it does get passed, right? I guess you can make transfers of $9,999, and that'll be okay, or $5,000 or $1,000. That'll still be okay. But the problem is, once this gets implemented, you know that they're going like up this later on. Maybe it's like, you know, they're going to do it to like 5,000 or 1,000, right? But we'll see. But again, hodling is never a bad thing. Never a bad thing. You buy and you buy something, you're investing in it, you're holding it. That's never a bad thing. All right, what else is there? Well, someone pointed this out to me. Stablecoin inflow into the exchanges. You could see this is massive. We haven't seen an inflow of stablecoins this high since forever. This may be the largest inflow of stablecoins into exchanges ever recorded. And why is that? Because it seems like the buying is about to begin. Actually, it did begin already. That's why you have pretty good recovery. If you look at it, I know it seems like it's still in red, but this is versus when it was that peak, 42,000, when Bitcoin 42,000 yesterday. But you look at this compared to the bottom when Bitcoin was at 30,000, or even when Bitcoin was 36,000, things are up substantially. I woke up this morning, I looked at it, and a lot of this was like 20, 30, 40%, right? We're not all the way back, but we're making progress. This is the recovery phase. Yesterday I said I don't know how fast the market will bounce back, right? It could be really fast. It could be an extreme V-shaped recovery, or it could be more like a U kind of, a half U recovery, something like that. But I do know we will recover. It just may take some time. But today we're seeing a good recovery day, and that's always positive. You know, you look at Ethereum's crawling back to 3,000, Cardano crawling back to $2, Doge crawling back to 50 cents, right? And Solana's crawling back to $50, and Polygon's crawling back to 2+, right? And VeChain, same thing. So today is definitely a good recovery day. But with this massive inflow of stable coins, you know that's what it's used for, right? It's to be used to buy. Otherwise, why would there be an inflow of stable coins, right? So this could be commencing pretty soon. Now, I did mention before, I don't have it up. The max pain price on the options expiration for this for the end of the month, I believe was at 54,000, right? So that's next week. So, you know, this weekend and moving to next week, we could definitely see a pretty good recovery. So we'll see. We'll see if it's true. We'll see if Bitcoin ends up at 54,000 by the end of next week from where we are here. It may happen. But you could definitely see the stable coins are flowing in because people are getting ready to buy. All right. Now, what else is there? You know what? Here we go. Australia. A lot of you guys are from Australia. So shout out to all the Aussies out there. Here's an Australian senator that says the government won't stand in the way. that they're not going to be like other governments with their regulatory bodies that's very concerned. They believe, Australians believe, that crypto should be legal and citizens should be able to decide what to do with their own money. A couple of quotes. We have to back Australians to be sensible enough to judge for themselves whether to put their hard-earned money into high-risk assets. While it is frustrating for investment professionals to watch, at some point we have to let people make their own decisions. Yes, it's about personal responsibility and common sense. Yes, I would like to make something clear. Cryptocurrency is not a fad. It's an asset class that will grow in importance. If you want to invest in Dogecoin, I won't stand in your way. Personal opportunity and personal responsibility are two sides of the same coin. It seems like everyone has heard of Dogecoin now. Number one, people have heard of Bitcoin. And number two, people have heard of Dogecoin. It seems like everyone's talking about Dogecoin these days. But anyways, yeah, I mean, that's positive. I would love to hear more senators and more regulators in the U.S. say the same thing, although I have a feeling they won't because they just want to regulate and tax more. But I do think some regulations is pretty good. You know, a lot of people complaining about what Elon did, and we know there's manipulation, there's insider trading and stuff. I think some regulation isn't bad, at least on the centralized exchanges, right? That's where most of the volume and transactions happen. You know, the DEXs, leave alone, right? DeFi, leave alone. But at least on the bigger centralized exchange, I think some wouldn't be a bad idea. All right, what else is there? You know, Dapper Labs is being sued by a Top Shot collector who argues that NBA Top Shots is actually a security and then they sold unregistered securities. I don't know. I don't know about this. I want to bring this up because I think NBA Top Shots is huge right now. It's huge. But there is something weird. I don't personally buy it, but I know NBA Top Shots, a lot of people are involved. But I've been hearing that they don't allow withdrawals, which could be artificially inflating the price, right? So I don't know if that's what's happening, but you know, those Top Shot NFTs are just like going crazy right now. But this is kind of interesting whether or not they are considered security. And it's interesting because if it goes down the path, I don't think people realize, if NBA Top Shots go down the path and it's deemed a security, does that mean all NFTs are securities? Does that mean you can't sell an NFT anymore? That all marketplaces or all projects that help you create an NFT, does that mean they're all securities? That would be a horrible thing if it was deemed that way. So hopefully it doesn't go down that path. If you think about it, if they lose this, then everyone else that's selling NFTs will have to declare themselves a security cell or a securities play or you know, whatever, and then they have to declare that SEC. That would be horrible. That would be absolutely horrible. All right, lastly is Pancake Bunny. This already happened yesterday, but they tanked 96% after a 200 million flash loan exploit. I don't even know how flash loan exploits happen, but they happen all the time. So basically, according to Pancake Bunny, the hacker used Pancake Swap to borrow a huge amount of BNB. Then they manipulated the prices USDT and BNB, as well as Bunny/BNB. Then they ended up getting a huge amount of Bunny through this flash loan. So it seems like the contract couldn't handle such a large loan or something like that. And then they exited out with about $200 million with the Bunny and BNB, which they then dumped, which is why it went down 96%. So this sucks. This definitely sucks. One of the biggest DeFi plays on Binance Smart Chain. But it goes to show you, you know, a lot of these projects, no matter how big they are, no matter how much TVL they have, right? You just don't know how vulnerable they really are, right? They could say they go through a smart contracts audit or this and that, but even companies that have gone through like that, I've seen hacked before. So you just got to be careful. You got to be careful with all these new projects that rise up very suddenly, and they seem like they're doing really good until something like this happens, which really sucks. So I don't know if Pancake Bunny will be able to come back from this. People are speculating whether or not CZ will step in because this is one of the premier projects on Binance Smart Chain, whether or not he's going to try to roll this back, which would piss off a lot of people, but then it would make all the people that lost their Bunny tokens very happy too, and all the Bunny stakeholders. So I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be done or not, but It's interesting what he might do. All right. All right. So that's pretty much it. The last thing I just want to talk about, which I led with at the beginning. So as Bitcoin and the whole market recovers, I know what we experienced yesterday was devastating. It was not fun. But what should you do about it? Because some of you guys did stick around. I know a lot of you guys are tempted to just panic sell everything, and some of you guys did, and maybe you're regretting that decision right now. But going forward, what should you do? How should you better prepare yourself? Well, number one is, I would say, if you find yourself with a portfolio that's very, very, very aggressive, okay, I think it's time to diversify and make it more conservative, okay? I know a lot of you guys coming in, you just want to buy like SafeMoon and whatever and Doge or Shiba or whatever because you were trying to play catch up or you're trying to make big money. But you know, a lot of those were the ones that dumped the most, right? And a lot of you guys are into very micro small caps and small caps, which is fine. But if you have too much of it in your portfolio, you just become devastated, right? Even more devastated than a normal portfolio, I guess I should say. So number one is, if you find yourself way too aggressive, way too much risk, you definitely should diversify. Build up a better portfolio, the 50-25-25 rule. And I did mention about watching Bitcoin dominance because Bitcoin dominance rose up suddenly yesterday. It could be the start where Bitcoin dominance starts going up again, or it could go back down. But still, I think 50% in your portfolio is definitely very necessary. Even though it may seem like it's boring and doesn't move, it still helps, especially like with days like yesterday. So 50% in Bitcoin, 25% big caps, 25% in small caps, micro caps, whatever you deem, right? Now, that's number one. Number two is the art of taking profits. As we come up, start realizing that, hey, there might be more crashes in the future. Hey, I might need money to buy the dips because that's the number one complaint I heard from people. I couldn't buy any dips because there was just no money, right? So as things start coming up, make sure you take profits. Make sure you take out your initial investment first, then start taking some out, put it on the side. It could be whatever you want, 10%, 20%, 30%, 50%. So have that on the side so that in case we do have another dip, you can buy cheap, right? That's the name of the game, to buy low and sell high, right? So I think that's also important for many of you guys that have not taken anything off the table for the last 5 months, right? Because you got in at a good time. We've seen altcoins do this, right? We haven't really seen it take a really big dip like yesterday. So that's also important. And I think the last thing is to remember this, that panic selling usually leads to regrets, and it doesn't lead to anything good. If you want to sell on the way up. That's part of profit taking, right? If you do feel like the market is a little frosty, as they would say, then take some off the top. There's no one ever gets hurt or no one ever loses money by taking profits, right? So just remember that because I think too many people have been just riding it up and not taking anything. Now, that does not mean that the bull market is over, right? I have said myself, I want to evaluate what happens at the end of the year before making any drastic moves, okay? So it does not mean that you need to sell everything right when it goes up a little bit, but just take some off the table and let the rest ride. If you take out your original investment and then let the rest ride, that's like playing with house money. You can't possibly lose that way. And then you take a little bit as things come up, right? So that way you're still gaining as the market continues to go up within this bull cycle, yet you're protected. So you don't feel so vulnerable like yesterday. Because I have talked to people yesterday and even today that have really thanked me for getting through yesterday when they really were on the trigger to just panic sell. And had they done that, they would have majorly regretted it today, because we're seeing some good recovery of the altcoins and Bitcoin today, right? So just as we're going forward, I'm going to remind you guys more of that now, because I also got caught in a trap, like kind of, not really talking about profit taking that much on this channel, but I will going forward, because I think yesterday was a really, really good wake-up call for a lot of people, right? So be careful. Just be careful and just get ready, because there will be more. There will be more dips like that. But trust me, there's going to be a lot more ups too. This market is nowhere near top. We're continuing forward. I have no doubt about that, right? And these kind of dip are buying opportunity. You have to see them as gifts, because towards the end of the year, when Bitcoin is much higher, when altcoins are much higher, you're going to realize, yeah, that was a pretty good buying opportunity. But you know what? I wasn't able to take advantage, or I couldn't take advantage. So, you know what? Yeah, prepare yourself going forward. All right. So that's pretty much it. Let's do some Q&A. All right, scrolling up. Solana volume is going up. Well, that probably explains why Solana is back up almost to $50. Yes. Today, a lot of altcoins are doing very well indeed. What else is there? Going down. Did I miss anything? Matt, hey George, what day of the week do you recommend to set up weekly auto buys? Hey, if you're DCA, if you just want to do something on a schedule, there's no right or wrong. You could do it every Monday, every Friday. You could do it every time you get paid, your paycheck day, or once a month, beginning of the month. You know, there's really no right or wrong. If you want to set a schedule, just set it and do not pay attention to the price. If it happens to be low, great. If it happens to be high, great. But that's dollar cost averaging in the long haul. Hey, Joe Mannion. Hey, appreciate that. It's a big super chat. Brendan, once there's more crypto adoption across the board and overall market cap explodes, will manipulation be more difficult and slowly subside? Yes. Obviously, the bigger the market is, the harder it is to do, because it requires that much more money, right? So I do think if the market gets bigger, the volatility will definitely get smaller. Now, I also do think that the coming regulation, which there will also help with that too. So yes, I do believe so. When do you think the next 30-40% correction will be? Who knows? We've seen many of them, even going back. Now, I mean, yesterday's correction was very, very significant, about 50%. So we haven't seen that in about a year, a little bit over a year. But 30% corrections we see all the time. That could happen next month. It could happen 2 months from now. But anything over like 40%, that's a rare thing. Although in 2017, we saw many times where it did that. So who knows? Brian, yes, thank you. Yeah, I do want to give a shout out because of this tax thing. Because of this new stricter compliance that may be coming with the IRS, and just overall trading, making any trades and stuff, they're all taxable events. But I do want to give a shout out to my sponsor, I Trust Capital, because they allow you to trade with your IRA or your 401k pretty much tax free. They don't have all the trading pairs, but they allow you to trade tax-free, and you don't have to worry about it until you retire and take that out. And they also allow you to create a Roth IRA too. So then you can also trade with that. So just want to give a shout out to them. They have a really unique service in terms of, just trading with your retirement funds. Or I should say investing with your retirement funds, not trading. What else is there? What's your preferred method to safe haven crypto gains on the side, or buying the dip, stable coins? It really depends. Stable coins is fine. USD is fine. If you're on, like, say, Binance.us, you could do USD or stablecoin. If you don't plan on sending it, then keep in USD. If you plan on sending it between exchanges, then USDC or something like that. Heidi, you didn't look at the USDT financials? No. I think it's going to take 6 months to get exposed. Yeah, I didn't check it. And I don't think it's going to happen, because they just got done. They just got done settling with the U.S. Attorney General's office. You don't think that they looked at it? They just got settled with them in like a two-year span lawsuit. So I'm pretty sure they looked at it. Tennis time. I appreciate it. Marcel, I hope to send 2 SC. What's SC? Willy Woo is very bullish on his Twitter. Is that a good thing? You know, I don't really cover Willy Woo, so I don't know. A lot of people do respect him, so I don't really follow what he says or doesn't, so I can't say. Please know that Pancake Bunny Finance has already released a forward plan to increase security level and let both new and old bunny holders recover from the dump. Well, that's good. Hopefully they can recover. I don't know how they're going to recover $200 million worth of stolen bunny though, but I hope they can. Anthony, big super chat. Love your channel. Please check out Unimex Trade on Binance Smart Chain. You can stake the native GDN or lend to the pools and receive. 100% liquidity is locked. All original code. Yeah, I get a lot of people that ask me to talk about Unimex. Like, why? It's a very, very, very small cap. Very small cap. So there's lending, swap, staking. So it's like an AMM. It's like an AMM, right? Actually, it's not. It's more just like a DEX, and like a DeFi play. So you can lend, earn interest. You can swap. You can stake. Yeah, okay. I mean, I've seen this before. It doesn't really fascinate me, Anthony. So I wish you the best of luck with that project. Can you make a video about leverage liquidations? What do you want to know? What do you want to know? If it moves, just know that you're playing with money that you don't have, so you could lose whatever you have very quickly. Just know that. What do you think about World Token? I have no idea what World Token is. Shiba Inu is the ETH of meme coins. I guess so. I've heard, someone asked me about ICP. I heard they're a really good project. I haven't done a deep dive, but I don't like them because they're way too high already. They're way too high. So I can't get into something that starts out that high already. Solana is on Coinbase Pro. Did they just get added? Or I forget if they got added recently. South Africa. Wait, thanks for that. S Africa. Is rapid recovery from 30K indication of how strong the market is? Yeah, usually. It's also indication of things were just too oversold. We just had a perfect storm of the right manipulation, the right FUD, the right amount of retail investors panic selling, and the right amount of just good old like liquidations, like nonstop billions, right? So it all added up to what happened yesterday. Umbrella, I forgot what it was, but Propel, Peru, the volume is not even there. No one's even using this. What were they in? Their Oracle system. Securing bring world's data on chain. Umbrella first, decentralized. Yeah, no. When it comes to oracles, just stick with Chainlink. None of the other ones gain any traction because honestly, they just don't get a whole lot of use. Every single project is using Chainlink. So I like Chainlink as the sole oracle at this point. Palisade or Telluride? I actually go with the Telluride. I think Palisade looks really ugly. And Telluride honestly drives better. Even though they have the same platform, same engine, same transmission, it's tuned differently. It just feels more like a driver's SUV, and it sounds better too. And it looks better, so Telluride. And it's cheaper. Duck. This? Duck DAO? Duck token? It just sounds bad. It just sounds bad already. Yeah. No thanks. Do you think the bull run market is over? No, I don't think so at all. Why would you even ask that question? Taking profits in USD's taxable event and USDD is not. No, that's wrong, Jacob. That's wrong. It doesn't even taking profits. It doesn't even matter taking profits. Any trade, you trade Bitcoin for ETH, that's a taxable event. You trade ETH for USDT, that's a taxable event. Every single trade outside of just holding is a taxable event. So think about that. Think about that. Yeah, no thanks on Duck. Rune. I think Rune is promising. They took a big dip recently. They're involved with swaps, like getting all these token swaps on chain. So something like that. I don't actually quite know, but they've been doing very well. I think that's it. You know what I'm looking at right now is, I know a lot of you guys are like, hey, what should you buy? You know, what's to look at? Like for me right now, in terms of recovery time, I'm really looking at smart contracts, okay? The big ones, mostly the ones in big caps, but also layer 2s and EVM compatible chains. These are the ones that are not going to go away anytime soon. These are the ones that are really providing the foundation for new age apps and DeFi and NFTs. So these are the ones that I really concentrate on. And I think a lot of them are actually coming back in a big way. Like Cardano had a good recovery today. Polkadot, good recovery. Like Solana is having really good recovery. Polygon's having good recovery. VeChain, not so much, but I know they'll come back, right? And then several others that have been really decimated. I think they're the ones to look at right now. Nebraska legislators will make final vote today on bill spearheaded by Telcoin. If passed, it will make them first legally compliant crypto bank. Didn't Litecoin buy a bank or something? I don't know if that's really true. But I mean, I wish them the best. Telcoin also has been really hot. They're in the remittance business. So I don't know if that's really the first compliant crypto bank. Maybe, but I know Litecoin made a partnership. They own 10% of a bank or something like that. Harmony is one of them. Harmony is one of those EVM compatible chains that started to come up until what happened yesterday. So they're one, and there's several others. Will alts actually come back? Yes, they will. It depends on what you're holding. Like I said at the beginning of the stream, if you're holding a lot of really micro small caps and small caps, right? The ones that were really pumping like crazy, maybe they don't come back as fast. But the good ones, though, the big caps and the mid caps, they're coming back. And I do think they're going to come back and form a new high. There's no doubt about it. This bull run is going to continue. All right, that's enough, guys. So thanks for tuning in. Overall, Bitcoin, you know, it's coming back. It's coming back. Alts are coming back. So things are definitely feeling a little bit lighter, looser, less pressure today. But you know what? Use yesterday as a learning lesson, right? You got knocked down, you get yourself back up, and you learn from it. And I shared with you guys what's important going forward, right? So thanks for tuning in. As always, smash a like, subscribe to the channel. Tonight will be a little bit different. I still have to decide whether I stream early or stream very, very late. One of the two, I don't know. But make sure you follow me on Twitter to find out. All right, have a good one, guys.